Welcome to our RESS indicator video. In front of you, you have a MetaTrader 4 platform, which is normally set up as the default settings when you download the MetaTrader 4 for the first time. This is what the charting system looks like. Now this is what the charting system will look like once you've implemented our new indicator. Because the core of our methodology consists of the three different sessions and separating the three sessions in a 24-hour period, we've created an indicator that does that for you, and you don't have to do this manually every single day. For example, take a look at the screen. On the left hand side, we have a separation of the Asian session, which starts at 8 p.m. New York time, and you have a yellow line running down our screen which indicates the separation and when that new session starts. To the right, we have the European session, and the time frame is set up for 2 in the morning New York time. And to the right, we have the US session, which has a red line running down the screen, and on the bottom you can see it says 7 a.m. New York time, which is when we have separated the US session. Now this indicator has been designed to help our clients not only separate each session, but to make it easier to understand the patterns and the trend during the new session that you're about to begin. To make it easier to understand the trend or the direction of the market in the new session, especially if you're trading intraday. For example, this indicator also creates support and resistance levels within the new session that you're trading. Allow me to show you here on the screen. First, if you watched our methodology video, you can see that we always have to have a reference point when we first start our session. That would be here, this yellow line where you could see session open. So the price was at 129.44 for the Euro USD this morning at 7 a.m. New York time, and that is the reference point that we're going to base our information to try to determine the direction of the market during this new session. So from that point, you can see that the price moved all the way up to the session high, which you can see a green line running across our chart that says session high with a price of 129.80. And if we look at the bottom of our screen, we have a session low. This was the lowest level during the new session that we were trading, which is the US session, which we're still currently in. And that was the lowest level. Because it's the end of the session, you can see the highest and the lowest level. But when you're starting the session, both of these, session high and session low, are close together. As the market starts making new highs, the price and this indicator moves up along with the price, giving you a clear indication of what the highest level will be during this new session, or what the lowest price of this session will be. As the price keeps breaking newer lows, the indicator will move down on its own. You don't have to manually do this. It's automatic and will indicate the lowest levels, giving you a better idea and a clear visual of where the price movement has been within this new session that you're trading. And this helps you, especially if you're trading intraday. Another feature that we've also implemented in this indicator, you can see on the bottom, it says session retracement. We have high and we have low. This unique feature of the session retracement is extremely important when you're trying to place your entries during the new session and once you have determined the direction of the day. If you've seen the methodology video on entry points, you can see once you've determined the trend. As an example, we're going to take a look at this trend where the price moved higher to the highest level of 129.80, and we've gotten a retracement of 20-25 pips. But you don't want to manually calculate this. You could simply look at the session high because you're focusing on the highest level, which is 129.80, and this indicator will show you how many pips the price has retraced from the highest point. And as you can see here, we have 37 because the current price is 129.43, and from 129.43 to 129.80 is exactly 37 points. As you can see right now, it changed to 36 because the price moved to 129.49. So this gives you the exact price of how many pips the price has retraced either from the highest level or from the lowest level if the trend is down. If the trend is down, such as we see here, and you're looking to sell, you would look at the low price, focusing on the session low and how many pips it's retraced in order to sell the currency if you believe the trend is going to continue moving down. Once again, this is a very unique feature based on retracements, such as Fibonacci, but this is on pip value. And this is something that we've implemented because we use it when we're trading, and it's easier for us to simplify when we're looking to place an order to either sell or buy a particular currency. Another very unique feature is something that is based at 1700 hours, which is at 5 p.m. at the close of the New York session, and open for the new session. Because we believe in a maximum price movement, for example the euro, where it has a potential to move anywhere from 200 and 225 pips in a 24-hour period. It could be whether it moves from the Asian, European, and the US session together, or maybe it moves 200 pips in 2 sessions. It has a maximum price. Once we reach that level, it becomes very difficult for the euro to continue moving higher or to continue moving lower once it's reached a 200 to 220 max price. So what we like to do is calculate this from the start of the new session. For example, at 1700 hours, which would be approximately here for today, at 5 p.m., the price was approximately 129.40. The system is going to start automatically calculating the highest level and the lowest level from this point at 5 p.m. to the next day at 5 p.m. and then recalculate once again. Because I live in New York, it's very important for me to identify what the price has done during the European and the Asian session, since I'm going to be sleeping during that time. So when I wake up by tomorrow morning, I'm going to see the price, as you can see on the screen right now. This is the highest level from 1700 hours. You can see where I am right here. This is the highest level, and this is the lowest level. By tomorrow morning, this will have expanded if the price keeps going up for the euro overnight, or if the price continues moving lower. It'll give me an idea of where the highest level is and the lowest level, so I can manually calculate this, giving me an overall price movement of what happened in the previous sessions. So not only does this system calculate what's going on during each session, but it also gives me a calculation of what has happened within a 24-hour period from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. the following day. That way I can see if I still have room for the price to continue moving up or moving down when I wake up tomorrow morning, depending on the price movement. These unique features are what we like to follow when we're trading, and to help us identify the direction of the market when we're trading intraday. And whether you're a beginner trader or someone that's advanced and been trading for a couple of years, this would definitely give you a few extra reference points when you're trading, because there's not a lot of theory behind this. It's simple facts such as the session high, session low, price movement, retracements, everything that you're actually seeing in front of your screen. Just being able to simplify it and put things in order. Another very unique feature, because many of us that trade for a living have different screens, 2, 3, some of us have 8 screens, some of us have 10 screens. You're able to detach this chart, as you can see here on the screen. I'm going to click on the detach part, and I'm able to take this chart and bring it to another screen, getting it away from the grid or making it bigger on one simple screen. And I'm able to fit as many charts and detach as many charts as I would like, giving you more freedom and a bigger workspace, so you can see your charts a bit clearer. As you can see, if I move this up and I open up another chart, I could expand it larger, where if it's inside the chart, I could only move it within that gray area. So this is another feature which is very unique, and we've added it to our charting system to make life a little easier when you're trading. Now, before we let you go, we've also implemented one key indicator that many people like, which is pivot points. Many of our traders have asked us to implement a pivot point table in our indicator. So here you can see something of what it's going to look like, but there's a little twist to our indicator in comparison to all the other pivot points that you might see and be able to download for free. Because everything is based at 12 midnight, we find that there's a gap and a little bit of a confusion when we're trying to accurately dissect what happened in the previous 24 hours, which is exactly what the pivot points tell us. Support and resistance levels of the previous day to have it as reference points. Because we separate each session, let me go back to this chart that we have in front of us. The Euro USD. Let me expand it. I want to show you something. Here we have 12 midnight, which would be 00 hours. I want you to see where exactly it falls. This is when you start reading on the normal pivot tables. Every single day, it resets to 12 midnight, which is almost towards the end of the Asian session. I want a system that is able to give me a reference point before the Asian session starts. That way I can have a complete 24-hour period of the price movement of what happened 24 hours before. Not to have a system read from 12 midnight, which is at the end of one session, and then read the next two sessions complete and only a quarter of the previous one, which almost taken away the entire Asian session. So what we had is an indicator develop, a pivot table, where we can manually implement 1700 hours, which is the close and the open of the US session, giving you a complete start and an end of a pivot table, support resistance levels of the previous day of the 3 sessions complete, instead of just giving you partial 12 midnight. This will give you a much better readout on a pivot tables and 3 complete sessions, giving you support and resistance levels where you'll be able to rely on because of the 3 different sessions fitting into this pivot calculation. So we will help you and we will show you how to set everything up in the next videos. That way you're familiar with some of our indicators and how to use it when you're trading. For now, these are some of the key features that you're going to find on the RESS indicator. We hope you like them. It makes our life a lot easier, and we hope it'll make yours as well. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please ask your account manager. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help you or go through any of the questions you may have regarding this indicator. Good luck trading.